Welcome back to Living Local. Valentine's Day is just a couple of days away, so we're talking all about love. A local workshop is diving deeper into your relationship with yourself and with others. Joining me in studio is local life and relationship coach, Coach Ru. Thanks so much for being here again.
Thanks for having me.
So you've been on the show before, but remind us, what's your experience with life and relationship coaching?
So I have a life, and I've had some relationships, and yes, a girlfriend of mine was going through a breakup, and I heard the work that she was doing, and I listened in on the conversations, and so I started to do my own work, which led me to becoming a coach.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So what are the biggest issues that you see when it comes to a person's relationship with themselves? So we'll get to the relationship with others quickly, but what about themselves? Because I feel like a lot of relationship issues really are rooted in just someone's issues with them own self. So what are some common ones that you see?
Yeah, I mean, and we all have a feeling about Valentine's Day, right? We all have a thought or a feeling. So with ourselves, so how did we grow up? Were our parents really loving towards each other? Did they buy their spouse, did your parents buy flowers and candy, or was it more just wasn't celebrated, And we watch our parents, we watch our family members, and then we kind of take it into our own world. Or do we even feel worthy of love? Or do we have these high expectations of like, oh, well, you're supposed to buy me flowers and candy. Like, it's Valentine's Day. What's up?
Expectations. That is a huge theme. So what kind of advice would you give when it relates to expectations going into a relationship?
Yeah, I mean, first you got to know yourself, right? What do you like? What do you want? I know, historically, my friends and I would kind of like talk about, this guy that I'm dating, that guy, and we project like what we want onto the others. So then, a friend would not go on a date, or I wouldn't go on a date with someone because it's my friend's projections, right? So if we can understand ourselves and what we want, what we like, and sometimes we have these high expectations and we haven't even done our own work. Right?
Very true. So once you kind of figure out your own self and you're like, okay, I'm ready to put myself out there and meet someone, how does someone get started? Let's say that they haven't dated in a while or they just don't know where to start.
Yeah. So I like to tell my clients, date yourself, right? So what are the things you like to do? Where do you like to go? Look what events are going on. The smash room. Like, go smash some stuff up.
Right.
Have some friends over. And also, like, feeling about, the day is coming. So if you are single, what can you do to feel good about yourself? Like, what do you want to do? What brings you joy? Do you want to bring friends over? You guys have a meal together? Go volunteer at your local, food bank. Do things that make you feel like a sense of purpose and happy, because a lot of times we think we need the other person to make us happy, but we have to be good with ourselves, right?
It's almost like a Band-Aid too, because someone can't make you feel purposeful in life. You kind of have to do that for yourself. So let's say I've dated myself for a while and I'm like ready to date somebody else.
Yeah.
So how do I step into that?
So when I was dating, I was very intentional. I did the whole online thing, I did all of that, but I historically had done that too, but I was kind of waiting for something to happen to me, and then I just started to be more intentional. It's kind of, I say it's like finding a job. If you're intentional, you know what you want, you can weed through all the other stuff. So I would say when you go out, speak to more people, right? Get yourself out there, be a little, get out of your comfort zone, talk to people you don't really know, do things that you normally wouldn't do, go ice skating, go, do these random things, but have fun, like enjoy the process. I think a lot of times we put pressure on ourselves that I need to find someone, but then, enjoy your time with your friends, because once you're hitched or once you're with someone, right, you miss those days too. So watch reruns of Sex and the City. Those never go bad.
Right. Okay, so let's say someone has been putting themselves out there, they've dated themselves first, they're dating other people, but they're just like not finding what they're looking for, and they are very exhausted and disappointed and maybe getting kind of cynical. And I know that when we think of that Valentine's Day, there are a lot of cynics out there. I mean, there are a lot of events that are anti-Valentine's Day events, which it is what it is. It's no big deal. But I mean, what kind of advice would you give someone who is just feels like giving up?
Yeah, I would say, you know what are your expectations? What are you looking for? And are they realistic? You know, we're not looking for Prince Charming to come. So what are the things? And again, like really, I say to my clients, list. What do you like? What do you not like? What are deal breakers, you know? Because a lot of times we look for that wonderful hot guy who has the money, who has the job, but then doesn't treat us well, right? So we get what we attract. So if you understand yourself and what you want more of, like, some things, you know, even each other out. You may not get the quote unquote hot guy who treats you bad, but you get the kind spirited guy. So really stay true to who you are and listen to your gut. Your gut always knows, but we kind of talk ourselves out of it. So really, I would say just really listen to your list and, you know, and be okay to go do some things off of your list too. Don't be so like holding on for dear life on that list.
Right. Not every single box that you have needs to be checked off, but you do have your deal breakers and stay true to those.
Yes, yes.
So we talked a little bit about the common problems you see when someone has, like, with themselves. What about relationships? Two people together. What are the most common relationships problems that you have been exposed to and worked with?
Yeah, I'm married. I mean, we project our past, you know, or maybe like projecting my relationship with my dad onto my husband, right? Like we have all these things that we think the person is, but we're not really seeing them clear and current. So really like identifying, oh, am I like in thinking about like the past, or am I really like with the person, right? So a lot of times people, you didn't buy me the flowers, it's Valentine's Day, all these things. Why can't every day, you know, like you connect, have that time that you cuddle, put the phones away, finding that quiet space, that time to connect. And also, if you're not getting what you want in that relationship, if it's dull, if it's boring, okay, it's up to you to create it, you know? Nothing's gonna change unless you change. So you really have to do your work. Relationships are work.
Right, they truly are, and I think a big part of it is communication. And we hear that all the time, that communication is key in a relationship. If you're working with a couple and they are just really struggling to communicate with each other, what are some strategies to help them get better?
Yeah, I would say, you know, have those timeouts. I think date nights, you know, date nights don't have to be dinner and a movie. Movies you can't really talk to, but have a regimen of like once a week we're going to sit down and not talk logistics, and we're just going to connect. And what was it like when we were dating, you know, and ask those questions, get to know each other. My husband and I will ask each other, like, what's your favorite color? You know, do you know what my favorite color is? Like the basics, just get down to the basics and just start talking, you know, and have fun, right? No logistic talk, and set your timer like once a week.
Dating doesn't need to end when you get married, right?
Right.
Okay, now let's fast forward a little bit. Let's say someone is just going through a breakup. Obviously, Valentine's Day, maybe they're feeling even worse about it. What are some tips for healing from a breakup? They can be devastating, truly. So what can someone do to pick themselves back up?
Yeah, I always say if you feel like you're isolating yourself from others, call your people, call your friends, call family members, who's in your tribe, who's in your circle, and create an experience. Have them over, like I was saying, like grab your ice cream, your bucket of ice cream, watch Sex and the City, do whatever, you know, makes you happy, but or just, you know, like go to the Smash Room together, or do things that bring you joy, but just really digging yourself out of that if you're feeling like you're going down that spiral.
And Coach Rue, you have a relationship workshop coming up. So tell us a little bit about that, what topics will be covered, and how people can get involved.
Yeah, so your relationships do not have to be disappointing. You can find that on Eventbrite, and there's a webinar, so you don't even have to leave your house to watch it. So we'll be talking about what we were discussing and just some tips on how to go for more satisfaction, because once you're satisfied, once you know how to navigate this stuff, then you're able to see things clearer and attract what you want. Let me tell you, I was always dating the wrong guys, always attracting the wrong ones, and once I like let go of my ego and all the things, I started to see what I wanted. I mean, if a guy was like, come over to dinner, first date, I was like, oh, red flag alert, you know? And then I attracted my husband, and then it just shouldn't be so much work, right? It should be easy and natural and organic.
But sometimes you need a little guidance, so that's what the workshop is there for, to kind of map that out. So if people need a little bit of help, if you find yourself attracting the wrong person or just are disappointed, then the workshop would be a good fit.
Yes, and if you're married and you need more like a jolt in your relationship, yes. So it's for everyone.
All right, Coach Ruth, thanks so much for the advice. We appreciate it so much. If you're interested in attending tomorrow's free workshop, it's from 6 to 7:30 at Mandala Integrative Medicine in Davenport. You can also go to our website at ourquadcities.com, and we'll have a link posted where you can reserve your spot, or again, it's a webinar, so you can watch that online. More Living Local is up after this.